You were late again, so you still owe me an hour.
Get in.
Frick!
We're hearing reports of an incident at the Agnian Tower.
What's your emergency?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Greedy, needy, cocky. We're going to shine a light on your crimes. So you will be worthless. Cheers.
Great to have you on board.
Then he attempts to gain access. The whole building explodes.
Someone got inside.
One of the cleaners. Find them.
Okay, Joey, get a grip. Your brother needs you.
Put it down.
See if you can do better than the last 3 assholes you sent.
If I did the cleaner, exile me.
You got this, Joey.
Everyone's got a personal, Joey.
If you touch him, I will end you.
No smoke without fire, right?
He's going to blow the building. I've got what he wants. You get as many people out as you can.
You want to hang this whole operation on a window cleaner who couldn't hack the army?
I was never there for you. This time, I'm not going to let you down.
I know you need to concentrate.
Don't stop. Takes my mind off the massive fall and the dickheads with guns.
Taz, how you doing?
I am very well, sir. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm a big fan of yours. Obviously, One Piece, you know. I mean, I got to talk about One Piece first. I cannot talk about One Piece. My fans would get mad at me if I did not mention that to you before we talked about Cleaner. So just talk about getting the role. Such a big property, the manga, the anime, and like the phenomenon that it's become.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna try and give you like a concise answer because so many.
Yeah,
things
just real quick on top of your head.
I mean, I didn't honestly. I honestly had no idea what the magnitude of it was. I watched One Piece as a kid. We used to get it on TV. We used to get a lot of anime in Spain where I grew up, and I watched it as a kid. I knew it, but I don't think I'd ever really been conscious enough to know what the magnitude of it was. Like, it wasn't something that I generally spoke about as an adult. And then I'd also lost track of it for a lot of my teens. So then when it came back around, first of all, it was called like something else. It was called Project Panda, and the character was called Zinko. So I had no idea till I got it, and then I was like, oh wait, I know this guy. and then also I was kind of like, okay, cool, I know this guy. I have something to base it on now. And then it wasn't till the show came out that I really started to grasp, like, oh, wait, it's an earthquake. And we're in the middle of it. And it's been a really fun ride.
Now, let's talk about your martial arts experience. Now, did you start for this role, or did you do it previously? Because I know you're avid in Taekwondo, so I just want you to go through your martial arts experience background.
I actually had zero experience. I hated fighting. I hated anything related to martial arts pre One Piece. I'd never done anything more than like a fit boxing class, and even then, I think I'd gone to like 3 my whole life. So this was like I was starting base level 0, and to be honest, like the intensity of the attention that we got early on when the casting got released. I remember the kind of tone of it being so, this is going to fail, this is going to be horrible, this is not going to work. And it was my first time really receiving comments like that from so many people at the same time. And I remember kind of sitting down and thinking and making a very conscious decision that I was going to work as hard as I possibly could. So that by the time it came out, if it was a failure, at least it wasn't going to be a failure by anything that was within my power. So I started training 6 months before. Actually, I started training 6 months was probably like 9 by the time I got there and did the prep. So I started training like 9 months before, and it started with 2 hours a day, then it was 4 hours a day, then it was 6 hours a day, then it was 8 hours a day, then there was stretching and saunas on top of that. And then we would tie ropes to my legs, and we'd thread them around things, and 2 people would pull at different ends to stretch them. We'd do the most obscene, crazy things to just get my body to be able to do those fights. And then at some point into it, I saw how things were progressing so intensely because of the sheer time we were dedicating at it. And I was like, okay, well, what could I do that kind of proves to myself that I've done as much as I can? And I wanted to break the world record for the fastest person to ever get a black belt. And I'm not sure I fully achieved that, but it was pretty much like 2 years. It was 2 years to the day by the time I got my black belt. And I actually got it the day before the show came out, and I took it to Oda's house, and Oda signed the belt for me.
That's awesome.
So yeah. That
so
was
let's go into Cleater. Now, obviously, this is the movie we're talking about. Big film. I mean, Martin Campbell, James Bond, all that good stuff. Daisy Ridley, Star Wars. I mean, Clive Owen is just, he walks into the room. I'm sure it's just aura surrounds him as
it really is.
Okay, so like Sanji is such this likable kind of fun, like he's a cook, he's a chef or what, Noah Santos is like a 180. He is like the most radical. He's got some radical ideas on how to change the world. So
he really does. He really does. Sorry, what were you going to say? Your question?
So I was just going to say, first of all, so just talk about getting the film. Like, what drew you to the character? Was it because he was so crazy and like it would be fun? I'm sure it's fun to play something like that. So just talk about getting the role first.
Well, okay. So the role, I didn't really know what it was. Either. There's kind of like a running theme of me not knowing what things are. I think I do better when I don't know what things are, and I just kind of play things on instinct. But I was reading. I read the script on my way to go meet Martin in the car. And I kind of realized the depth and scale to which this character was going to be a 180 and was going to be so difficult to play on my way there, and then had to figure out kind of my way through it on the fly while I was working with Martin on it. And in terms of the 180, dude, I don't think it's so rare to kind of get the opportunity as a young actor to play this kind of part. Because the character was also written as older. He was supposed to be in his like mid to late 30s, I think. And I knew it was a long shot of me getting to actually play him. Mostly just like the obstacle of me being believable in that part. Because I mean, especially if you look at me now, my blonde hair, and my little ear cuff, and you know what I mean? Like, I just don't look like I'm about to be that guy.
Yeah.
And I just knew that if I could get the chance to play him, I'd figure a way out. And Martin, I don't know, Martin's been a hero of mine since I was little, and something in me just kind of said to go as hard as I could with it when we met. And I don't know, man. He let me do it. So
Well, you're phenomenal in it. Like I said, you're believable, and I kind of like that you were younger because it kind of made it more like menacing in a way. It's like, oh wow, this guy's so angry. It's like he's so young. So let's talk about working with Daisy. Now, obviously, Daisy Ridley, everybody knows her from Star Wars and everything. She's badass in this. She's like the female John McClane. You guys have an interesting relationship because at first, I'm gonna get a little spoilery because I have to in terms of ask you questions. But you guys are like friends, but then it's like nope, and then it flips, and then I like that dynamic. So talk about working with her in that dynamic.
Daisy's awesome, man. Daisy is so prepared and knows what she wants to do with her character so intensely and vividly. And also we got to navigate. We shot the film mostly in a linear fashion, so we got to navigate that deterioration of the relationship through the film. as we shot it, and because the first scene we shot was the ones where we're outside the building being pals, and we hadn't really. I started the film with so little prep time that we hadn't really had much time to get to know each other. I think everybody on the set, including Martin, just kind of hoped that once we were in the harnesses and looked at each other and started speaking, it would just work. And thankfully it kind of did. We just slotted into that kind of like annoying little brother who wants to annoy his bigger sister relationship, and it worked. And I think the fact that that relationship worked is what underpins the rest of it when things start to get a little bit more complex. Right. Because if there is no tie, if there is no emotional repercussion at all, there are very clear fire ways where either one of us could have ended the other one. And the thing is that throughout the film, we don't. And I think the reason that that is believable at all is because we do actually have a relationship with each other that means something. And so it's not as easy as just kind of finishing things up.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, because I obviously I do an action film website, so I got to talk about the action. So talk about doing the fight sequences in this one as opposed to like One Piece and doing it with Daisy, because you guys have a phenomenal fight at the end. So just talk about preparing for that as we wrap up here.
Well, dude, it was so funny because I remember thinking like, okay, cool, I got my black belt in Taekwondo now. I've been working so hard at this, and now I'm gonna do another action role where, coincidentally, all my skills are absolutely irrelevant because because I can't use any of the. We basically don't throw a kick in the entire thing.
It's close quarters. It's like close quarters.
Exactly. It's grappling. It's boxing. It's in some ways there's some Krav Maga movements in there, but it's like brawling. Were you like, can I get some string? Can you put me on wires so I'm used to doing that. Well, so I rocked up kind of thinking, okay, cool. I've got this wire work thing down. Like no wires. Like it was all done so practically and realistically that it was really about not only learning a new fight style, because I'd done some jiu-jitsu since One Piece and I'd got on my blue belt. So I understood rolling. I understand rolling very well. And then as soon as I found out about this, I just started boxing every single day, twice a day sometimes, just to kind of feel like I had, because you can tell when somebody throws a punch and they're not used to throwing punches. And he didn't have to be technically perfect because he is more of a brawler and he is more of a dirty fighter. So it just had to be something convincing. So I just boxed as much as I could. I grappled on open mats in the weekends for hours on end. And then just hoped for the best and took the hits.
Absolutely. Well, Taz, I can't thank you enough for talking to me and taking the time to talk to me. You're phenomenal. I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Maybe more action because you're definitely suited for it, and you're starting to learn it. So the fight action and everything. So hopefully we can talk again in the future. And success with the movie. People are going to love it, and they're going to love your character. So thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you and your time. You have a great rest of your day. Okay.
All right. You too, sir. All right. Have a good one.